everyone, and welcome to another episode of Speak, Film, and Enter, a podcast where we review and rank movies. I'm Nate.
And I'm Dylan.
And I'm Adam.
And today we have a very fun sort of ranking for you. It is a list, but they're not really in any particular order, although I do think I saved the best for last.
That's good news.
Yeah.
With the release of of Avatar: The Way of Water, currently playing in theaters, we thought it would be fun to talk about 10 other popular blue characters from other movies
that we enjoy.
Yes.
There are at least 10. I had to make a couple of cuts, so we know that there are maybe 12 to 15 even.
Yeah.
So
They're out there.
Yeah, we thought it would, Avatar, just known as the movie with the blue people. I think that's kind of how my mom knows that movie.
Yeah.
Like people who aren't interested in Avatar, it's
For the uninitiated.
It's the movie with the blue people.
Yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
So we've got 10 blue people not in Avatar for you. We did not include any Avatar characters in this list.
Mhm.
Jake Sulley, number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we kind of had so you guys might not know everything that I put on here because we sort of like a week ago had kind of everybody threw out some
a bunch of them.
characters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I just kind of took 10 and put them in there. So if there
All
aren't
right.
any, we can have some honorable mentions at the end. But
Yeah, I'm looking
So
for
you've
those
got
of
the
you
whole list,
watching on
right?
YouTube, we do have some images for you because why not? The whole point is that they're blue, so we should get to look at them in case you forgot who they were, or maybe you never knew.
Yeah,
But,
maybe you haven't seen those movies that these people will be from. Now you got a chance to go check those out.
Right. If blue characters is your thing, then this is the episode for you.
To me, Nate. Come on.
Yeah, if you're listening on the podcast, just stop and find the YouTube version if you're really into blue characters. And this I think is a good time as any to let the people know that this is the first of our Colors of the Rainbow series. Where we're going to go through every color and find 10 characters. And you laugh and you think it's a joke, but like when we get to like the indigo or like the fuchsia, the top 10 fuchsia characters, you're about to be shocked. I've actually been looking forward to that for a long time.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah. So this is only the beginning.
Right. So to dive into the blue characters, had to include this
God
here
damn it.
because
Great pun.
this was Adam's only requirement. And we
Yes.
When we came up with the idea for this episode, the very first thing that Adam said to me was that we need Marty Wolf from Big Fat Liar, which is Paul Giamatti, whose skin has been dyed blue by the mischievous Frankie Muniz.
Yeah.
But don't worry, he deserved it. If you've never seen the movie, he's the bad guy.
He's a
Yes.
dick.
Right. So, and also just a chance to remind everybody that Paul Giamatti was in a movie where they turned his skin blue.
Yeah.
So if you go ahead.
I can't remember. Is that pretty? At what point in the movie does that happen? Is that like fairly in the middle? Like, are there multiple scenes where he just has to carry on?
Oh, he's blue for a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like right away, but I think it's probably at about the halfway point.
Yeah.
Good
He
for
does
them.
something to deserve like our ire.
Mhm.
And then they like hatch the plan, dye him blue, and then he has to chase them around town doing whatever. I can't remember the plot point.
It's a zany kids movie with Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Classic. Yeah. That's just a perfect image. He looks like he looks
does
like
not
he
want to be
wanted to be
blue.
like a Navi. Like he dressed up as a Navi for Halloween. Like.
yeah. But his hair was just too orange. Didn't really work.
Yeah.
That is the right tone, though.
It is for sure.
Wonder if James Cameron saw that and he was like inspired.
Blue people. It's possible. Moving on from
Okay.
Marty Wolf, unless anybody has any last comments.
Good for Paul Giamatti making it to the list. That's going to be big for him.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Right at the top of his resume.
Yeah.
The next we have Abe Sapien from the Hellboy movies.
Yeah.
He's kind of a
Toro
weird
Hellboy movies.
Yes, the
Important.
Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies. He is not the same as the monster from The Shape of Water. Although
often confused.
Yes. He's kind of a weird dude. He's a little stiff. He's really smart. kind of the brains to Hellboy's brawn.
For sure.
And they make kind of a fun pairing.
Yeah, I think they make a good duo, and he's definitely needed as a member of the squad, like you said, kind of as the brains and kind of the just like, let's think
level-headed.
Yeah, let's think about this before we just go in guns blazing. Whereas Hellboy, that's his entire approach to pretty much everything.
Right.
And I was trying to see if there's anything else. He's played by Doug Jones. I was trying to see if there's anything else that you would know him for.
Doug Jones?
Yeah.
Well, he did the Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth, I believe.
Yep. Okay.
And
also Del Toro.
And he's the amphibian man in The Shape of Water. So it's the same guy, just not the same character.
Guillermo del Toro will let him be in his movies as long as he does not show his face.
Yeah.
Be a weird man and you can be in.
Del Toro's like, I love your look, but just like not your face, but like everything else about you.
Only for being a creepy creature.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
For sure.
Nice.
Okay, so that's Abe Sapien. Moving on, we've got Beast from the X-Men movies.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, it's a solid one.
I included this one because he's in all of them, I think, for the newer set, whereas he's just in X3 for the original trilogy, and that's easily the worst one. So this feels like the better version of Hank. I can't remember his last name. McCoy.
Yeah, I think that's the better version. And I like having him around. He's definitely doesn't have the coolest power per se, but he's a nice addition to the group.
Yeah, for sure. I like the newer ones where he's kind of spending a lot of time with Charles.
Yeah, his like origin. Yeah, more of his origin. You understand why. Like if you were to go back and watch X3, which again, not great. But he's like a political leader.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah, why would you do that to yourself? But he's like a political leader, so it's like towards the not end of his life, but the first class and everything else is his beginning and why he's blue and like why he decides to become Beast or stay as Beast. But I think it's played by Nicholas Hoult, who we just saw in the menu.
The Menu.
Yeah. I like the interpretation in the new ones of him. It's good to see.
Yeah, for sure. Then we've got, moving on, we're staying in the X-Men universe. Probably the most popular blue character from X-Men is Mystique. Could have gone with either, really. She's a very important character in the original trilogy and the later trilogy, or there's 4 of those, I think, technically. But this was, the first version of the character for like live action that we were introduced to, and she nailed this. Yeah. And she's an interesting character because she's blue, but she doesn't have to be. So if anything, she's probably the most blue character here just because she's blue by choice.
It's by choice.
Yeah.
Well, and I remember... Oh, go ahead.
Go on. No, you can go on.
Oh, I remember when the first X-Men came out, the big deal about her and her character was that she had to be like completely naked in order for them to do the makeup for this, or they like
and it took like hours upon hours
upon hours or ever.
Yeah,
it's like we can't like prosthetic some of this on or like
right. I think Jennifer Lawrence just got to wear like a green
suit.
Yeah,
way easier. No, I remember that, and I remember, the trailer and the hype for that movie back in the day, like the shot of like her transforming was like the cool CGI shot that was in every trailer.
Yeah.
So they knew what they had there. They got the most out of her power and her look.
For sure. She's a really, really cool character. So that's Mystique from X-Men. Moving on, we've got Sadness from Inside Out.
Nice.
That's a great choice. I think that's a lesser known choice too.
Well, it's clever. You don't think about it right away, but it totally fits.
Especially with our Rainbow series, Dylan, we'll be revisiting likely all of the Inside Out characters.
Inside Out has a good foothold on these rainbow color lists.
Yeah, for sure.
God damn it, guys. She's voiced by Phyllis Smith, who is famous for her role in The Office.
Okay,
I think Inside Out has some of the best voice casting of all time.
Yeah, it really does. Like Amy Poehler's Joy.
Louis Black is Anger. Like those 3 are just top notch. And Sadness is a really important character and ends up being arguably the most important character from Inside Out, and just like a really clever way that they did that and kind of bring it all back around. Really clever movie, and just a really, like, despite always being the sad one, they make it kind of funny at the right moments.
Yeah.
For her, like, even, you know, like when Joy has to just kind of drag her around because she's so sad that she can't even move.
She can't move.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
And she has the thing with the core memories and how when she touches them they turn blue,
like she's doing in this picture right now.
Yeah.
Yep, she sure is.
God, that's a movie I should maybe revisit soon. It's
it's
very, very good.
And it's near and dear to all Minnesotans, as it, you know, the main character is from Minnesota, so it's
yes,
it's a yearly rewatch, I think.
Yep.
Director's also from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Minnesota's all over this movie.
I know. Seriously, made in Minnesota, Inside
Out. Then we've got Stitch.
I was wondering when he was going to come up.
From Lilo and Stitch. Just sort of a weird, like, coked out version of E.T. Basically. Stitch is he's great. He's just super high energy all the time, but as you can see, he can also, this image, he can chill and eat snow cone.
With cool sunglasses on.
Yeah, absolutely. He can blend right in. Nobody notices.
When he's not impersonating Elvis, he likes to spend his time being low key and eating snow cones in Hawaii.
Right. Which I think we'd all like to do, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think you know, a lot of the characters so far, you know, they're blue, they're very vibrant blue, whereas he's kind of a muted blue.
Well, he's trying to fit in, right?
Almost a bluish gray, you know, and just it's like his fur, it's not like kind of like a latexy skin, or it's just it's very subtle. He kind of, I don't know, feels, I like his look. It's like a chill blue.
Chill blue.
You know.
I like to imagine that somebody who was behind the design of this character, like, one of the things they really wanted was for Stitch to be like a chill blue, but nobody ever brings it up. Yeah. I like to imagine them watching this episode and just losing their minds.
Yeah.
They understand.
He's ever met to describe Stitch as just kind of a chill blue.
Yeah. If you're listening on the podcast, trust me, my analysis is 1,000% correct based on the image.
Somebody's just listening in their car and going, bullshit.
No, I remember him being very bright.
Yeah, right? No, Stitch is great, though. And this is honestly, I think, one of the most underrated Disney movies ever.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of gets forgotten about.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really solid.
And chugging right along, Sulley from Monsters, Inc. He's shocked at how blue he is.
Yeah, see, that's even a more vibrant blue.
That's what his face is saying right now. Like, oh my God.
Yeah,
look how blue I am.
Yeah, so blue. And just big and fuzzy and voiced by John Goodman. Great choice for the voice character.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I hit the way he plays off of Mike Wazowski.
You got to say his whole name. I love that.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to just pull the first name, and I'm like, why can't I do it? Oh yeah, because the last name is essential.
Yes.
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. Another, you know, this will be another hotbed for our Rainbow series. The basically the mind of Pete Docter.
Yep. Yeah, he comes up with a lot of these.
There's so many monsters in here.
I think
I was gonna say, and we're going from like peripheral kind of side characters to now like characters that are big parts of the movies that they're in, like co-leads.
Yeah. I remember going back and watching Monsters Inc. and noticing that this is one of the first movies where they rendered each like individual hair, or they rendered like the movement of like his movements on how that would affect the hair that he has, because it's so long. It can actually like wave in the wind or wave with motion, and they really do a
picture to show that.
Yeah, they really do a stand-up job with it, and it's more impressive when you realize it was made. You know, what was this, like 2005?
I think this was 01.
Yeah.
Okay, or even earlier.
Yeah.
Like
this is their third movie or fourth movie.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they've always been on kind of the cutting edge of animation, and just seeing what else they can do with it, and love that aspect about this character. Just adds a little more like nuance to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got two more.
Okay.
What number are we on?
That's the hard part about not ranking them in any actual order. I don't have numbers next to them, so I think that's 8. Oh no, that was 7. This is 8. Gonzo from the Muppets.
Oh yeah.
We just had a fun conversation about the Muppet Christmas Carol. You can go check that out. But Gonzo's a classic. He's in basically like all the Muppet movies, and he's just great. He's very versatile. They kind of plug him in, talks to the audience a lot, and he's fun because he's also kind of not like a thing. Like you don't really know what he is. Like, a lot of the Muppets are like specific animals. He's just kind of he's Gonzo.
He's just a creature.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good choice. I'm glad after seeing the Christmas Carol and discussing it, he definitely earned his way onto the list.
Yeah,
if we hadn't watched that, would have been like, I might not. Who even is that?
You would have been like one of those two old guys. You would have been like one of those two old Muppets that just
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, you would have been about Gonzo. Yeah, for sure.
He's too muted blue. I don't get it.
Yeah, he is. He's more Stitch. He's more Stitch than Mystique, and he's got a good fashion sense too. He's not just blue and letting it all hang out.
He wears the shit out of that scarf.
Yeah.
And the ascot and the top hat.
Yeah, for sure. He's really like top drawer.
Swanky.
Absolutely. So that's Gonzo from the Muppets, and then we've got Dory from Finding Nemo and from Finding Dory. But she was one of the first ones that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
For famous blue characters.
And she's so blue. She's
so
very a very like rich color. Like it
very vibrant.
Vibrant's a great word, yeah. The whole movie looks fantastic. The coloring in there in the reef is wonderful, but she really sticks out.
Yep, and she's the only fish on this list. I guess unless you count Abe Sapien.
I think Abe Sapien would count himself.
In fact, besides Paul Giamatti, all the other blue characters have been kind of like creatures or like fictional
or like not people
creatures. Well, not real animals. Yeah. So Paul Giamatti was a human, and now we have a fish. So good for them for representing the real Earth world.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Subtle but important point.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So diverging far away from the real Earth world, we've got Genie from Aladdin, voiced by the late Robin Williams. And this was just kind of, I didn't order these really in any way, except I felt like Genie should be last because
absolutely
he's great.
Yeah,
and he's so blue.
Oh,
and he can be blue at like any size that he wants, which kind of separates him from the rest of the characters on this list as well.
For sure.
This is probably the best casting out of any character on our list. Robin Williams as Genie. It's perfect. He did I think he did like something like 2 extra hours of takes that they used for some of his other, like after, I think it was after he died.
I bet that would make a lot of money in the theater.
Yeah. Like just letting him riff and pretend he's Genie. Like that would be phenomenal.
I would see that for sure. If it was 2 hours of just Robin Williams outtakes as the Genie.
Yeah.
Like in theaters, Friday, December 20, what was it, the 3rd? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if that, I would have advanced tickets for that.
I mean, I know like Marvel does the post-credit scene all the time, and now it feels like every movie you go to in the theater, you got to like look up and make sure there's no post-credit scene. Just put Genie outtakes with Robin Williams at the end of every movie, just so I stay for the credits. Like, because I'll stay every time.
That's a wonderful idea. I wholeheartedly endorse Robin Williams as the Genie at the end of every single movie while the credits roll.
Some like weird A24 movie, and then there's just Robin Williams as the Genie at the end.
Yeah, after like The Lamb or whatever that. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. 10 characters who are all blue.
They sure are.
And they're all in movies.
That they are.
And just like we mentioned, there were a few more that did get cut, and I just wanted to shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy, which has 2 blue characters Yondu, played by
3.
Michael Rooker, and Nebula. So
And Ronan.
Ronan.
and Ronan. So I mean that one franchise, good for them. But yeah, Yondu was probably the one that I felt the worst for not making the cut. I mean, he just because he does get a pretty nice, heartfelt father-son kind of arc at the end, and good for Michael Rooker for having that. But yeah, there we go, the blue list, and I've managed to make it through the whole episode without ever singing the Eiffel 65 song. So let's end this podcast before my brain gets taken over, and I have to do it. So please,
I think Adam. I think Adam has the quote.
I should have made that the quote. Just stop a deed, ever die.
I have an idea for the quote, and I really hope you're using what I'm thinking of.
I'm not. It's completely different than what you're thinking.
Wow, so confident.
Here we go. I've been accused of insider trading and require legal representation.